Hello and welcome to today's Sunshine Prepper News. I'm Willow, the Sunshine Prepper, here to spread a bit of positivity on the unavoidable doom and gloom. I've got two stories for you. On the menu today, we've got observations about Boeing, the quality of their planes, and the suspicious death of a former employee turned whistleblower, and then some curious updates about the availability of police officers in a city that is hopefully not near you. Before we get into the gloom, please join me for 5 seconds of incredibly awkward laughter that hopefully helps invoke your real laughter. All right. Maybe I'll make a video on the benefits of laughter. Leave a comment below if that's something you're interested in. But suffice to say, laughter is really medicine and a great way to combat the gloom. All right, so first up we've got Boeing, and they are showing that they are going off the rails a bit. There have been quite a few mishaps, and it's finally drawing attention and investigation. A quick summary of some of the unusual events that have occurred. A 787 Dreamliner experienced a sudden plunge mid-flight, throwing people around the cabin, which might not sound like much, but they were tossed around. A few people hit the ceiling, thrown across several rows. No one died, but a few received some not so minor injuries. Most of them weren't so bad. And then a door blew off another Boeing. It was a 737 MAX 9. Left a gaping hole in the side of the plane and ripped the headrest off the seats shortly after taking off from Portland. The flight crew described the blowout as a very violent, explosive event when it occurred. There were 177 people on that flight. I cannot imagine how terrifying, how absolutely horrifying that was. A good day to be wearing your brown pants. And then another 737, also coming out of Portland, was forced to make an emergency landing due to fumes in the cabin. And then a tire fell off another Boeing plane after it took off from San Francisco, destroying at least one car in their long-term parking garage. And then an engine fire forced another Boeing to make an emergency landing in Houston, Texas after takeoff. Now, I don't know who failed all the quality control checks on all the others, but apparently for that one, according to United Airlines, the engine ingested some plastic bubble wrap that was on the airfield prior to departure. To top all that off with Boeing, an honorable man, a former employee who reported safety problems at Boeing and who was actively involved in providing evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against them, died on Saturday from an apparent self-inflicted wound, according to a coroner in South Carolina. They found him dead in his car in a parking lot. That's not incredibly fishy timing at all. Nothing to see here. Well, that wraps up Boeing, so I wanted to touch on this other story real quick because what really gets to be concerning is what happens next. Will this spread? Hopefully not to a city near you. So, wake up world, it's 2024, and right now in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the police department announced they're not responding to calls that are not emergencies, that are not actively happening. Instead, these calls will be routed to an enhanced telephone reporting unit. And if that wasn't gloomy enough, between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., no officers will be at any of the stations. And during the night shift, they're going to have as few as 20 officers watching over the whole city, depending on shifts. And for some reason, they also thought it was a brilliant idea to broadcast this. It's like saying, hey, criminals, your easiest hours of operation are now 3 to 7 a.m. Well, time for 5 more seconds of laughter to shake off the impending danger of defunding police while apologizing and making excuses for criminals. Okay, so what can you do about all of this? Well, don't have sudden paranoia about flying. While it is huge in the news, the percentage of people actually dying from flying is incredibly low. And if you haven't started exercising your 2A rights, today is the PSA that sometimes help is minutes away when seconds matter. So, especially if you're in Pittsburgh, you're on your own from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. So please equip yourself if you haven't yet. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Sunshine Prepper out.